Hello, fellow crafters and artists. Long time no see. I know it's been forever and ever and ever and ever. But if you know my story, we sold everything, including our art studios, and pulled out of our galleries so that we could travel the country for a few years in an RV. Well, then we decided we needed a little more balance in our lives, so we bought a home base in Florida where we could have art studios again. And now we're part-time RVing and part-time in Florida. And right now we are in Colorado visiting the family. Every time we travel, I get inspired to create. And I didn't bring any of my art supplies with me because I thought, I'm not going to have time for that. But I went and bought some UV resin stuff, and I've been picking flowers and drying them and putting them in a book. And while I'm waiting for those, I ordered some dried flowers off of Amazon. And I am just starting to have fun doing some little mini creations as we travel. Here we go. This is how I made 3 little imperfect UV resin dried flower jewelry pieces that you can make earrings out of or necklaces. It's really fun. It's really easy. It's something I can do while I'm traveling and gets me crafty and creative. I hope you enjoy. So here's a list of all the things I used for this project. I have a silicone mat, tweezers, UV resin of your choice, UV resin tape, or you can just use packing tape. A little fluid lighter, popsicle sticks, a skewer, a toothpick. At home I have these great little silicone sticks that I use for this. Open backed bezels of your choice. I will link all of the things that I use down below in the description of this video. I love these rounded bezels with the imperfect edges. They're kind of thin, but I thought they were kind of fun and funky. And then I got another box of bezels that are different shapes. And I just love the irregular edges again and some of these geometric shapes. So a lot of fun to be had with these. You can make earrings or pendants or charms. And then because I'm still waiting on my flowers to dry that I pressed in the book, I went ahead and ordered some real dried flowers off of Amazon. You'll need a UV resin lamp and of course some protective gear like gloves, masks, etc. All right, let's get started with our first project. I'm going to walk you through this one step by step, and then the rest will go pretty quickly. So right now I'm just doing a little preliminary flower arrangement, trying to decide how I might like this piece to look. Keep in mind, I've never done this before. I've made little seascapes, but never flowers, so I'm guessing there might be some bubbles until I perfect that. Now I just take my tape and I put the popsicle sticks on each side so that I have something to hold on to and my hand's not sticking to it the whole time. And also when I flip it over, I'll have those there so the tape doesn't stick to the mat. Now make sure you press your bezel down really good on the front and then flip it over, and you want to burnish the back. You just want to take something like another popsicle stick and really rub the back down. People say their resin leaks out from under. Well, that's a great way to stop that from happening. Just make sure you burnish and rub the back really good. Once I have that done, what I'm going to do is go ahead and get my gloves on, wear a respirator or a mask if you need to. Always make sure that you're being safe. And then I take my resin and I just put a very small dab of it. I just want a very thin layer over the bottom of my bezel. Make sure you take that skewer and you run it all along the edges, and this is how we're sealing it. Take your lighter and run it over the top to pop any bubbles. Well, that's the hope anyway. And then set it under your UV lamp. I did 60 seconds on this first coat. Now I'm taking another very thin layer of my UV resin, again running it all the way up to the edges, and you can notice that the resin did not leak out with that first coating because of the burnishing on the back. Another quick swipe over it with my lighter before I start trying to arrange and place my flowers. This is where your tweezers come in handy because these are little tiny delicate pieces. Another quick swipe over with my lighter. Try not to burn those little flowers. And then I'm going to put it under my UV lamp again for 60 seconds. Look at the view out my window while I'm creating this. Colorado mountain views. Now I'm going to flip it over and go ahead and do a 30-second run on the back side just to be safe, because your UV light doesn't penetrate through anything that's opaque, and the flowers you can't see through, so I just want to make sure we're getting all of that resin cured. Now I put my third layer of resin over the top of the flowers. I am noticing there are some bubbles trapped in there, but honestly this is just for me, this is just for practice. I don't plan on selling this. It's just for fun, and I'm learning. So another 60 seconds under the UV lamp, and you've got a pretty nice top coat, and it's looking really pretty. So now I'm going to go ahead and put a dome top on it. This is the tricky part where you try not to let your resin run over. Back under the UV, and I take it off of the tape. And now we're going to check out the back. So the back might be a little bit sticky from the tape. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Just take a little rubbing alcohol and wipe it off. And now I'm going to dome the back with another coat of UV resin and place it under my lamp for another 60 seconds. I think it's really pretty. It turned out great. Yes, I've got a couple bubbles in there, but I don't care. I like it. It's beautiful. It actually becomes my favorite piece out of the 3 that I make. So the next 3 I'm going to go through pretty quickly since we've already done each step. Going to go ahead and place my bezel. Now with these bezels, they're bumpy, so really make sure you rub and burnish the back, getting all those little grooves out so that your resin doesn't run under. Again, placing a really thin layer of resin on this first batch, popping bubbles, UV light, 60 seconds, seal it, and then start arranging your flowers. I didn't think I was going to like this one, but it turned out kind of pretty. That would make a nice little necklace. And for our third one, I went with this teardrop shape. I wasn't really happy with my flower choices. You can see how the resin absorbed and changed the color on these pieces. So probably going with the thicker flowers, the more dense pieces would have been better for this project. But not my favorite. It was still an experiment. I learned something from it, and there we have our third piece. So 3 coats, a dome, some UV light, and we're ready to move on. You can also take that packing tape and just put it right over your silicone sheet, and it'll pull all the pieces and little bits of dried resin off. That's the one great thing about UV resin versus epoxy resin. It's quick, it's easy, and much cleaner. I liked that first piece I did so much that I thought I'm going to make a second piece and make earrings out of it. So I bought this really inexpensive earring kit on Amazon just to get me by while I'm traveling. And it came with pliers, tweezers, all of your findings to make different earrings, backings, even the little paper boards to put your earrings on and little bags to put them in. Anyway, I just think these turned out so cute. And I don't know what I'd do with them. I might give them away. But what do you think of these 3 little dried flower resin pieces? You could do so many fun things with these. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you just as soon as possible. In the meantime, I'm going to keep playing and experimenting with these little UV resin pieces and try to get some more things out for you to share with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching.